experience of breastfeeding, we ended up having to stop because my eldest son had a dairy allergy. So they decided to put him on formula that was prescribed. But nobody told me that we could actually carry on breastfeeding if we just cut out dairy of my diet. So I would have liked to have known that information to start with, so we could have carried on. But I think we fed for 6 weeks until we realised that he'd got an intolerance. My second son, Jacob, we breastfed for 4 months, and then he started to get teeth, which really scared me because obviously I've never done it with teeth before. So that put me off, and we did stop at 4 months breastfeeding and went switched to bottle feeding by then. And with Harry, he was born in lockdown. So it's all a bit strange and a little bit scary. And I think with the extra pressure of having 2 children at home, having another newborn baby, being in lockdown and everything being so unusual, the stress got to me and I just stopped producing enough milk. So we ended up having to go on to bottle feeding for Harry as well. And this time round, 4th time round, I have managed up to 5 months so far. It hasn't been easy. Every time it does have its difficulties and challenges, but we've managed to get through them this time with a bit more help, and we're doing really well. Some of the challenges that we've faced were having self-doubt, a lot of self-doubt, because it's new to everybody. You've never done it before, your baby's never done it before. So you need to have patience with yourself, a lot of patience. You need to have a bit of confidence with yourself and just persevere, just try. And if you can't do it, search for some help. There's lots and lots of people out there that can give support. We come every week to the breastfeeding group at the Children's Centre, and with Elias it's really helped, because if I've ever had a question that I haven't been able to answer myself, or Google it if you do, there's people here that have been through it already and they are more than happy to speak to you about anything. There's no pressure, no nothing. And if you have any worries, they're ever so good at just calming you and just talking you through what you need to do to get through the sticky patches that you might be getting into. I'm so glad that we've managed to make it to 5 months, and I hope that it will continue for a long time yet. But with my other children, it was still an achievement to get to where we got to with all the trouble that we faced. But this time around, it's extra special because we've got a bit further. The advice I would give if you're pregnant and don't know where to turn to or to start with anything to do with breastfeeding is go to your Children's Centre. The breastfeeding groups are open for pregnant mothers as well. I came when I was pregnant briefly, but it's a real good help because you can ask the questions beforehand, and there is no silly questions. Nobody, they don't think anything bad of you if you ask something that you think's really stupid. They're just there to support you, and you can go into your breastfeeding journey with as much information as you can gather, which really does help. Breastfeeding to me has always been important. It's the one thing that I wanted to do. As soon as I found out that I was pregnant, I knew I wanted to try and breastfeed. I just felt that we had an extra special bond. And to me, it just seemed, I know breastfeeding is not easy to start with, but to me, it just cut out all the faff of sterilising, preparing the bottles, buying the milk, everything, because I didn't need to do any of that. And if we went out, I didn't have to take anything because I took it with me already. So to me, it just made sense to really try to breastfeed from the start. And it was never easy. It's always difficult. And anyone that says it's easy, they've also had their problems because everybody's new to it, and it does take some working out. It really does. But once you get the hang of it, it is so rewarding to just sit with your little one and know that you are the only thing that they need. Your body created this tiny baby, and now your body is feeding this tiny baby, and they don't need anything else from you. It's incredible. It's amazing. There were points when I thought I couldn't do it anymore. Not so much this time around because this little one sleeps, and it makes all the difference. But with my other boys, they didn't sleep very well, and the lack of sleep I found to be the hardest thing, because it makes you feel so alone, so down. And to me, I thought that if I stopped breastfeeding and put them on formula, they would sleep for longer. It's not the case. That doesn't work. Definitely not. It's just your baby's routine. They either sleep or they don't. To get through that, my husband was very supportive, and he would take the baby. After he'd been fed, I would go and sleep, and then once the baby needed feeding again, he would bring them up to me and I would feed the baby, and he'd go back down and let me sleep some more. So that's how we got around that. That worked for us. But the lack of sleep it's horrible. It's the worst thing I've felt, but you do get through it. It's not forever, it's for a few months, and in all honesty, you will miss it when you're not night feeding anymore, because although you're getting a great night's sleep, you don't have those little quiet moments in the dark with your baby just cuddling. So it's quite nice to have that. I remember the first time I ever breastfed in public, I was ever so nervous. I bought one of those little sheets to cover the baby over, and was conscious that nobody was looking. I was trying to hide out the way and be in the shadows. But now, after a lot of experience of breastfeeding in public, they don't see anything anyway. Once you're feeding your baby, that is the only thing that's important to you, is getting your baby fed, your baby happy. I don't think about anybody. If they've got a problem, that's their problem, that's not my problem. To me, it is the most natural thing to do. To feed your hungry baby, why wouldn't you? You can't stop doing that. I mean, I would never go into a public toilet to feed my baby, because why should I? You know, you wouldn't eat your dinner in a public toilet, would you? In this day and age, I feel I've never had anybody that has had a problem with it as such. You get the odd look or the odd mumble, but to me, it doesn't matter. I just get on with it, because to be able to breastfeed your baby is a huge accomplishment in the first place. So to gain the confidence and do it in public, it's incredible. I just get on with it. I don't worry about what anyone's thinking at all. The benefits certainly outweigh everything for breastfeeding, because it's really healthy for the baby. The bond is wonderful. It's just the ease of being able to feed your baby whenever, wherever, is so much better for me than having to worry about formula feeding. I just feel that he gets everything he needs from me, and it makes me a bit more conscious about what I eat and my diet, because I know what I consume then gets fed to my baby, so I try and look after myself a bit more. So yeah, I think health-wise it's good for both of us.